All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm your boy Big Q. Sorry about the thing. And this right here, the joint is running a lot better. It's running a lot
Yeah.
smoother. I think that's what it was. But I think it was the audio processing that I had open in the background. I think that's what it was. I had some VSTs on our voices to make it sound all pro style, but I forgot to close the module, so that was on me. I messed that up. Now, where were we in the broadcast? We were talking about your boy,
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown. We was talking about Antonio Brown, right? Again, everybody saw the video. He's running around and he's uh he's bad mouthing his baby mama. Says she tried to get him for his, what was it, a Bentley? What was that? A
Yeah,
Rolls Royce?
yeah.
What was it?
Bentley, one of the.
Yeah.
It's pointless, but okay.
Whatever. But man, so what I was saying before we had to interrupt was that I think that he pretty much signed his death certificate. I think because of the things that he personally broadcasted, the words that he said, the language he was using, the way he was verbally attacking the police officers, and saying all that kind of stuff in front of his kids and his baby mama. I don't think any NFL team at this point is going to give him a chance. What you think about it, Jay?
Absolutely not. And if they do, the league is a walking contradiction to players that's non-black when they make these statements and get caught saying these things. First of all, using foul language to the police, and you know how America feels about that.
Right.
You using racial slurs and you defaming a woman. I mean, verbal abuse is the same as physical abuse, and there's children involved.
Yes.
So whether he felt he was bulletproof or he had the right, I don't think he was mindful of the stuff that was flying out his mouth, which was more damning than anything, and is at his own detriment because he loves that camera, he loves
Yes.
that phone, he loves Instagram and being on video. So it wasn't like somebody snuck that video.
Right.
It was some people that was maybe the paparazzi or something like that. He did it to himself, so he get everything that all the fallout that comes from this they deserve. I'm pretty much tired of talking about the guy because he's an idiot. He in his own way, big time.
An idiot. And for him to continue to go on and and then he got these dudes that co-sign the crap that he does. And this is the stuff that, like, I understand, like, JB, if you were my man and you were an NFL player and you were rich and you let me hang out with you and stuff like that, and you was really my homeboy, and I know that I live my life based on how well you do. I'm not really gonna put you in situations where you're gonna mess that up for all of us. I will be trying to
Right.
help you out, but these dudes don't seem like that's what they're trying to do. They're pushing them further and further into the abyss. But like you said, I think it's done. I think this will probably be the last time we'll probably talk about Antonio Brown on our show.
That guy Ham, he'll find a way to make the news.
Yeah.
He still, he still will be the until he ain't relevant no more, which
Right.
will be another full season outside of the league. But uh, and from my perspective, just for me in my opinion only, he has it's parallel to Josh Gordon.
Oh,
Josh Gordon fighting
absolutely.
a real demon. And Antonio Brown has one called mental illness.
Mental
And a
illness.
lot of people are trying to, they scared to say that, but
Yeah.
we didn't see this for 5 or 6 seasons in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. It just came out. It just seemed like it was. I think it was weird because, like, the first incident was the locker room thing with the phone and broadcasting it on Facebook Live. That's when I kind of knew like something was wrong. But like that compared to what's been going on lately is like fluffy stuff. That's like tame compared to the whole stuff with Gruden and Mayock and Bill Belichick and all the other countless people he done drug under the bus. Shannon Sharp, name a few, a bunch of other people, but. I wish him all the best, man. He need to go find some help. He probably need to sit out for a couple years, man, and figure out him something else to do with his life. I don't think the NFL is going to be the place for him.
Nah, and you don't want to wish him, losing all his money and all this and
Right.
that. But, okay, because I just want to point this out. The guy ain't slow. He behaved himself till he got to a point where, his all pro years, his Pro Bowl years, he behaved. Maybe this is who he always been,
Right.
but he was smart enough to not let it affect who he eventually wanted to be.
Right.
He got to a point where he felt like, okay, now I ain't gotta abide by these XYZ rules. I'm gonna really, really be myself. But to my point though, I don't wish that he go broke before all the fakes or the leeches or the people who condone his behavior go away. Then he come full circle and say, well, I had the wrong people around me, etc.
Right.
Looking for a second chance from the people, which I doubt will happen.
Absolutely. Give a shout out to Sean Thompson, dude. I ain't talked to in a long time. He just gave the video a like on Facebook Live, man. I
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
appreciate that, Sean.
What's happening?
I thank you for stepping through. But
Yeah.
hey, that's what we're gonna say about that. Then what you think about the what's his name, Beckham Jr. After the game, he goes and gives the racks to the LSU Tiger players. It was totally legal. They were not collegiate players anymore. After the whistle sounded, they actually are going their way to be NFL players now. So they were able to get money and gifts and things like that. Odell was out there showing love. What you think about that?
If it's by the rules, then cool. I mean, he towing the line there, but why do that in public? So is it for you, or are you really looking out for them guys? Because in a sense, if they getting ready to go pro, they don't really need you.
They really don't. You know what? I think it was more Odell. Like, I guess it was more him showing love to his school or whatever. Now you didn't see Landry and them boys out there doing that, but I think in true Odell fashion, it was just like, look, man, y'all welcome to this ain't welcome to the big league. Y'all did it. Y'all won y'all's game, and y'all guys can actually take the money now. Like, I think he was trying to prove a point to the collegiate association for not letting them dudes take money and all this kind of stuff. But
that's called looking hard at a reason and a crack and a sliver to try to shine.
Yeah,
absolutely. He did that with the watch. He did that with a lot of other stuff. Yeah. He do that with celebrations. I'm studying. I'm gonna figure out a way to bring attention to myself.
Absolutely.
He didn't have to do that. You could have gave that money to their moms or somebody. You know who they are.
Oh yeah, I thought it would have been a better way to do it, but that's Odell Beckham fashion. That's how you got to do it, right?
Right.
Panthers, the Panthers guy that FSU was in the building. He says, this free agency is going to be nuts. A lot of big names, and yes, a lot of big names. Three. It's going to be three veteran quarterbacks on the market. It's going to be Drew Brees, Tom Brady, and Phillip Rivers, right? And Eli Manning, right? Eli Manning, right? You got Eli Manning out there. You got AJ Green. You got is it Antonio? Who's one of the wide receivers? And no, they locked him up, so he won't be a free agent this year. I know it's gonna be AJ Green, but there's another wide receiver that was out there.
Those are the ones that's noteworthy.
Yeah, Amari Cooper. Cooper. Winston, Prescott. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Prescott going nowhere. Winston definitely be on the move. Mariota will probably be on the move. And look, free agency gonna be a fool. And for the first time, JB, we are not going to be worried about how Carolina ain't going to make no moves and how Carolina don't like to spend no money on free agency, because we clearly have an owner who don't care about spending no money. So, I mean,
you're going to have to.
Because it looked like Carolina done fell apart at the seams, but dude got a big bankroll, and we'll see how it work out. You know what I mean?
He better invest one of his several $1 billion in offensive line play, because that's where the money didn't go.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, man. So, JB, I know you didn't really want to talk about it. It's like peeling the Band-Aid off. I know you just put it on.
Nah, man. I'm true to it, bro. So let's go.
We got to talk about the weekend, man. So, before we get to the obvious, these playoffs, and I got to admit, these playoffs have been very entertaining. Have they not? Right?
Except for a few games. But yeah.
Well, the AFC games have been more entertaining than the NFC games, in my opinion, right? This Tennessee team, look, unfortunately, they had to go through your Ravens, but listen, they are exciting, man. I mean, I don't know if this is sustainable or not. I have no idea. But look, they went through New England. They went through all the big boys to kind of get to where they at right now. So I feel like, and this is my, if they can beat the Mahomes and them, the Kansas City Chiefs, then they deserve everything they done played for. But because they had to go through the top teams to get to this point, and then I look at it on the other side of things. What we sitting at in the NFC Championship game, you got people who expected to be there, right? Right?
Yeah, basically. I mean, granted, nobody really, no disrespect to Packers fans, they just flew low. They won 13 games in a very weak division, swept the entire division to get half of their winning record, and they went on. I remember them open night.
Yeah.
Opening night against the Bears. That's about the last time the Packers were spoke about.
Yeah. You know what? They flew under the radar pretty much the whole season. While all the attention was on the 49ers, because they were undefeated for a good bit of the season. And who was the other team? Was it the Saints, right? That was the other one, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Niners, Saints, and
yeah.
somehow the Vikings were,
Right, and a lot of noise was talking about the Cowboys, which was whatever.
right.
There's a lot of energy being wasted there.
Which turned out to be a very moot point for
Really?
both teams. The jockeying,
Right.
six
Yes.
and 17,
Yeah.
and you talking about a playoff spot and this and that and the third, and Jerry Jones, and I mean it was pointless to even focus on that.
Well,
But they maybe that was distraction to keep Aaron Rodgers under the radar.
but what did we say though during that time? When we first started looking at that playoff picture, it was like, okay, the NFC East representative, whoever it's gonna be, they ain't gonna last but a second in the playoffs. They ain't gonna last but enough to run out there on their field, and then they're gonna get mopped up. That's what we kind of thought, right?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. And so let's talk about this because we got the championship games coming up this week, right?
Yes.
So with Baltimore out of the way, New England out of the way, New Orleans out of the way, Minnesota, whatever, but New Orleans, right? That's the powerhouse that was in the NFC, right?
Right.
That's been eliminated. But with all these teams gone, right? And we looking at, Houston. They were who we thought they were, right? Man, what you think? How you think this thing gonna end up?
I'm gonna stick to my original bet.
Yeah.
My original prediction. It will be Super Bowl one for 100 years later.
Oh goodness gracious, we
With
don't want that.
KC and the Packers, I think will be representing the Super Bowl based on all the State Farm commercials together. It
Right.
just strengthened my reasoning.
Yeah,
And so, but just to recap the teams that lost, uh, I thought maybe I would feel better just by some of the other guys that went home, and some of them went home before um, the Ravens got eliminated. But I don't think nobody took a harder loss, a dominating loss, and played as bad with 3 weeks off than the Ravens did.
well, you
So
might be right about that but this is the thing though, and I don't know. I've always said this, especially since I know what it feels like. At least you guys didn't get
right,
embarrassed in the Super Bowl. But when it comes to the end of the season, man, you got. I know you got to be careful because you don't want nothing freaky to happen because you don't know. Some teams have ulterior motives. You don't know, right? And so you got to be careful. But man, that's a lot of time to sit down. Man, like the Ravens did
yeah.
not look right that whole entire game.
I mean, even though the score was what it was, which is something listen, the Raven fan base, the team, we hadn't experienced a loss since September.
Right, right.
Understand? So even in some of them losses, it wasn't as bad. Even the Eagles, they opened in wild card weekend against a very good team. They didn't lose as bad.
Right.
So if you look at the whole playoffs, this is why this one hurt the most. The fan base is kind of shocked. Shock is worn off in its pain because we took the worst loss in the entire playoffs.
Yeah, I will agree. I 100% agree. And the run a close second would be Houston, right? Because they
fought.
Well, they had a lead and they blew it, and they was never able to do that. Like I don't know exactly what happened with that Houston game. I don't know. And then I look at Seattle, and our boy Davion Clowney, who they're talking about in the chat right now. I ain't gonna put it all on Clowney, but man, he he got a lot to wear for the rest of this all season. He got a lot to think about for real. You know what I mean?
We know to his credit though, that team they only have one stud on defense.
Right.
I mean, you can count Wagner, but they schemed. I mean, it ain't like you got to scheme for 6 out of the 11 on the field. Right. It's just 2.
Yeah. I don't know. And
they schemed him up.
It's just how it go, JB. In the playoff situation, man, you mistakes got to be minimized. They have to, and you can't do stupid stuff. And playoff games it's just too much at stake, and it's too much on the line. And then to do have three super huge mistakes in the game. And again, I'm not saying that everything was Clowney's fault, but he put his team in a bad spot a couple times in that game.
You lose money when you have mental errors in the playoff game, and you're not in your 4-year rookie deal.
Absolutely.
If you vying to be one of the top players, stuff like self-imposing things. I mean, maybe if they was double teaming you all night, you was non-existent. That's respect. That's a different thing.
Yes.
But just to be all sides and creating all these mental, this is your second year in the league. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. crazy, man. It is ridiculous. But just to watch the way the NFC thing played out, I just would not. I mean, you know what? And I still don't know how much faith I got in the 49ers. I'm saying it look good for them right now. They look good in there. They have went out and so far in the playoffs, right?
Right.
And it was a dominating defensive performance. It was beautiful. I just look at kind of what Tennessee is doing, and for 3 weeks straight, what was that? Was week 17 plus the wild card plus the division round. Ain't nobody found the answer for King Henry yet, and to me, that's the glaring thing right there. That's what I'm afraid of when we talk about here in a minute. When we talk about these games coming up this weekend, because we're talking about Kansas City, and and how they have a hard time on defense, and this might be a little rough for them. You know what I mean? But,
and let's not forget the Titans beat them regular season.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. It's just a lot to deal with now. I do like the fact that we got a fresh plate to deal with here this season. This tournament been really, really good, especially on the AFC side, which I really thought the excitement was going to come from the NFC side of things. But I don't know. I just look at the aftermath. So before we talk about the games coming up this weekend, in the wake of these playoffs, man, a lot of things going to change going into the next season. We got to figure out what's going to happen with Tom Brady. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a Patriot, right? So is he still going to play somewhere?
I think so. I don't know. I don't. When McDaniels didn't leave, I think it's a high possibility he's staying in New England.
Yep, absolutely. But it's weird though. But it's just. I feel like Belichick don't want him there.
Well, yeah. I mean that was proven with the whole Jimmy Garoppolo situation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like Belichick's ready to move on. Of course, Kraft, Brady's his boy, right? I mean, that dude done made more money for Robert Kraft than he know what to do with. Like that dude the gratitude. Like he just does. So I feel where he's coming from. It's just, I don't know. I got a feeling since they still, because right now he's a free agent, right? So he has to sign a new deal. And with Belichick being the GM, he pretty much got most of the power. We got most of it. I mean, at the end of the day, still got to go through Kraft. But Kraft would be an idiot if he brought back a 43-year-old quarterback. And not even just the fact that he old. That ain't even got that lot to do with it to me. It's the fact that the way their season ended and the way their season played out. That's why I would be a little leery of Brady.
But that gives me every reason to believe Brady will come back based on the last time people saw him, what happened. So, I mean, we've seen this guy for 20 years almost. So we know that Brady don't go out.
Yeah. So
nothing like that.
So you got that. You got Phillip Rivers. You got this situation that's going to happen to the Tennessee quarterback's name, Marcus Mariota. Jameis Winston going to be out there. It's a lot of things in the wake of these playoffs, man. It's like things are being exposed. Did you see before we pick this game? Did you see the money that CBS is offering one Tony Romo? Did you see the story?
Is it 10+ million a season?
It is. It's definitely 10. If I remember correctly, it was somewhere around 16.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's unheard of.
They saying Tony Romo. They think Tony Romo can single-handedly save Monday Night Football. Look, I think the dude, like him going into that announcement was the most brilliant thing he ever did in his life. But man, he'll milk that thing, right?
Well, that's what this goes to show. Yeah. This goes to show about something we spoke about last week. Yeah. Tony Romo's success right now, and that's another guy he probably more so the poster boy for this. Yeah. We talked about how it's really nobody abiding by the Rooney Rule and no black coaches, not an abundance of black head coaches and little to no black GMs. If you take a guy that played the game, come out of the game. Yeah. Tony Romo won't be no Hall of Fame chatter about him because his career was short. But the guy knows what the hell he's talking about when he announcing the game. I remember when he first started, he was calling plays before. Luckily the coaches don't get that live feed on the because it'll be basically a cheat.
Absolutely.
But the guy knows exactly what he's looking at. He knows what he's saying. He knows as opposed to I know Joe Buck played, but come on.
Yeah. I mean,
I know Dan Fouts played, but really.
And the saddest part about it, and I don't even know if it's really sad because judging by the stuff I see on Twitter on Monday nights, Booker McFarland ain't getting that.
Exactly.
Right. So
I mean, and
know,
talking about the obvious,
you're right. So
I mean, and that's the same reason why John Gruden was a hit.
right, absolutely. Yeah, so it is what it is. All right, so we got Seymour Carver's in the building. Thank you for joining us, homie. He's in the house. Still feeling good, Seymour Carver.
All right. Still on top.
Yeah, he's still doing his thing. You know what I mean? Congratulations, right? They got that one playoff game is good. But let's get into it. So, who they play? They play against the Green Bay Packers in the championship game this week, right?
Yeah, coming to them.
All right. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and break this one down. Okay. So, I'm just gonna say this, JB, and you tell me how you feel. I feel like what we saw from Green Bay, I still have yet to see this whole entire season, JB, that dominating performance that made me believe that these guys are championship material. I haven't saw it yet. And
Nope.
they figured out ways to win games and stuff, but I'm telling you, after we saw what San Francisco was able to do last week, and they not playing. They're not coming at a dilly-dally and play around with no Aaron Rodgers. They come in and knock blocks off. They come in and knock heads off, man. And I don't know if Green Bay ready for that. What you think about it?
No. As far as what we've seen from San Francisco all season, I think Quan Alexander back in the lineup. It's a lot. They got a lot of guys back last week. Important pieces last week. Clearly the better team through and through on every level, but I'm still believing in the 100th year anniversary, and it's a shame. But Green Bay, I happen to win this game.
I don't see this is the whole thing. I don't know if I'm just trying to figure out, because Cleo came over here yesterday and we talked about this for a little bit. I'm just trying to figure out how would this benefit the NFL. Now, so you got that big 100 thing behind you and all that. I'm just trying to figure out how this would help the NFL if we on the 100th season we replay the first Super Bowl. Like what benefit is that?
Okay, why do we having the season opener with one of the three oldest teams?
Maybe that's what the schedule.
And that game was very underwhelming. But this is what they like to do in this fraternity. We're on the outside looking in. This means a lot to the history of the game.
I mean, I can see that part. I just feel like you robbing the integrity of the game by doing stuff like that. Now
it's happening.
Now listen. I've been victim to some of these conspiracy theories now, like this whole Peyton Manning thing. I still feel a certain type of way about it, right? Certain things just don't make a whole lot of sense, right? But I just don't see how they would benefit from that. And this is what I'm saying. I really feel like we ain't gonna get to see that. I really believe that it's gonna be lopsided. I don't think Green Bay actually really they're gonna need some help from the referees if they're gonna win this game. That's what I'm gonna say. I feel like if they really want to set this up to be the Super Bowl I rematch or whatever on the 100th year, they're gonna have to scheme and plot, and they're gonna have to do some weird stuff. Now we don't see them do it over the past couple of weeks.
I personally don't see how if they played 3 out of 3, man, San Francisco will sweep them.
Yeah,
realistically, but
what up, Chris? Man? Chris Worth is in the building. What's going on, Chris? What's going on, Big Dog? What's happening with you?
What's up, Big Link? Not happening, bro. Yeah, I feel, and then if there's another plot twist to this, because I think against this team, Jimmy Garoppolo tore his ACL against Kansas City.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of things there, and it could be, I don't think it would be a revenge game. San Francisco's just in my opinion, head and shoulders better than them in every skill position.
I mean, especially as far as the team is concerned, I just think you can put them boys out there, let the game play out the way it's supposed to. In San Francisco, like I said, 3 out of 3 times they're gonna walk out the victor. Now they got a crafty quarterback though, like Green Bay does. I mean, he's a little shifty and a little crafty. But I don't know how you're going to overcome that defensive onslaught, though. That's the part that kind of got me a little concerned.
That and the way how explosive they are in scoring points.
Yeah.
And you ain't going to beat San Francisco with one receiver because Sherman will take Adams away. Yeah. Now, who you got? Addison. There's a couple guys caught touchdowns against Minnesota that I never even heard of.
And I saw Minnesota napping a lot in the secondary. Like it was, I mean, dudes being wide open for a lot of things didn't make sense to me in that game.
Well, not Minnesota. I'm sorry, Seattle. Yes, I just didn't. I hadn't heard of some of them fellas.
Right. McCarver said they would literally have to cheat every single play to beat us.
I agree. But they're gonna find a way. To make Adams and Jimmy Graham and that running back that they got.
Yes.
and it's going to be a game that,
Yeah.
like, just like my Ravens, it's like, listen, how the hell is this happening?
Right.
For
Because
14 games,
that's what happened.
I didn't see this.
You halfway within in the second quarter, and the score is 21-3, and you like what's going? Your head is, you don't know what's happening, right?
And then another head scratcher is that in any normal, I don't care if it's a 2-0-16 teams.
Yeah.
If you're up 24-0, the game is essentially over.
It should be.
You don't run 31 straight points,
right,
and eventually end up with 51 in the game. No way. And we're talking about the playoffs.
It absolutely
no
should
way.
Be.
No way.
They're under every circumstance. There's no way you should be sitting on that type of lead in the playoffs. And then they run up to how many points? 30-something points on you?
30-some points before eventually the Texans answered.
Absolutely
this was
not.
before this is the shit that threw me for a loop. This was before halftime.
Right. Unacceptable. Unacceptable, right? Now, to their credit, and I'm, before we move on, I'm gonna go ahead and officially throw my pick in. I think San Francisco got the best team. Like I said, only the caveat: Green Bay got a shifty quarterback. He might pull some things off, but they got to stay in the game in order to do that. I'm gonna say, despite what everybody's saying about this 100-year controversy, San Francisco gonna overthrow that. They're gonna push through it, and they make their way to the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna get my 49ers Ravens game, but maybe I get something else. So I think the 49ers will end up being your NFC champion. So that's my official pick. What you got?
Man, Q, I wish I could echo that. But I think San Francisco is the best team left. They was the best team a week before.
Yes.
This whole thing shook out to this NFC championship. I'm going Green Bay, man. Wow. I don't know how the hell they're gonna win this game, but they're gonna win the game.
But you know what though? Like again, I know where you're coming from because you feel like as prepared as your team was, and as dominant as your team looked over the last month and a half, 2 months, that you didn't think nothing like that would happen. And I mean, maybe
no. Well, I mean, it happened because it didn't happen. A lot of number ones. This ain't the first time a number one seed been dethroned in the first round, and looked like they was scared or nervous or just hadn't played football in a year prior to the game. But I'm just, what makes me weary of this 100-year nonsense is that I watched how Breeze went home and how Brady went home, and how Cousins was playing out of his mind. And the next game he didn't understand. No.
Wow. Chris thinks it's going to be Green Bay and Titans on the Super Bowl.
Titans have no chance. Not if they're allowing Patrick Mahomes to come back from a 24-point deficit and one. Listen, they put up on the big board at Arrowhead Stadium. Right. We are out of fireworks due to how many times the Chiefs have scored.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is
ain't no way.
But listen,
there is no way.
But here's the thing. Me and Vernon was talking about this earlier today. All right, so we know what the Chiefs are about. They're about throwing up a whole bunch of points really quick. Now they had a slow start last week, and luckily they were playing against some jabronis and the Houston Texans, right? Because any other team, Ravens, Titans, Patriots, whoever would never have let that happen, bro. That would look, if they got you by 21 points, that game, like you said, the game is over. It's done. Now we're talking about Tennessee, who got like the rushing leader on their team, right? Now, he's a quick strike running back. He ain't no slow the game down to a grind type running back. He's a quick strike guy, but man, if they get the ball to him, what Tannehill had? 88 yards total last week, threw the ball 14 times. Is that right?
Nah, that was the game before. That was against New England. He had a good showing against us. Okay. But if you look at his 2 touchdown throws, one was a 9, and one was a 1 cheek in, 1 cheek out. Yeah. And they ruled it a touchdown. So nah.
So you don't think they since they can control the ground game, it's clear that they can do that. That's how they got to where they are right now. They have been destroying everybody on the ground, right? That keeps Mahomes on the sidelines, right? You can't score 21 points in 9 minutes on the sidelines. You can't do that.
Mahomes, as unfortunately for me and my Raven fan base, is an exceptional thrower of the football than my guy, and he got a whole lot more exceptional talent on the outside. And our 3 tight ends, Kelsey is all 3 of those.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, man. Besides the conspiracy, I just think that KC's. Even though they lost to the Titans in the regular season, it was in the 30s. It was 38-35 that game.
I do feel like it might be KC's time. It might be because they've been knocking on the door for a few years now. Ever since they were doing pretty good when they had Smith there for a little bit, but they weren't able to get out of the first round. Couldn't get out of the first round. They got that bye. I think they the one team who needed that bye more than any other team that had a bye. They the one who needed it the most because they weren't going to make it to the next round unless they had that bye. But I'm just watching these Titans blow everybody up with that running game, man. It is scary. I would not want to be standing across from no Derrick Henry whatsoever. Dude. I wouldn't want to be doing it, and nobody has an answer for it yet.
Well,
they run out of every formation.
And, actually, they won't have an answer, but
right. And it's funny because nobody sees it coming, right? They run out of every formation. They run out of everything. They run out of shotgun. They run out of eye. They run out of power. They run out of everything except empty backfield. And I don't know if it was some kind of way they might even try to do that. I'm just saying.
They done Wildcat. They had a jump pass against us, which was a legitimately good play.
Right.
But that's what happened to you when you succumb to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Everything, like I said on the show last week, everything happens off of how well he does.
Yeah, it is. It's hard for me. The boys got momentum. They're coming from the bottom, and that gives them even more firepower. Like, they ain't been sitting around on their laurels. They've been grinding it out. And they're feeling good about themselves, right? And, I'm just saying, I feel like I'm a firm believer in momentum. And I love to see dudes come from the bottom of the playoffs and make it all the way to the top. I'm going to go with
even though the Titans have gone to Foxborough, gone to Baltimore, and now they're going to be in Arrowhead, I think that, okay, you're going to the loudest stadium in the AFC.
Yes.
Okay, and I think that Kansas City got 3 games worth of workout and won. They put up 51, came back 31 straight,
I feel
unanswered. Yeah. I don't know, man. I just like Pat Mahomes. He's a better thrower than anybody they faced already.
I like Pat Mahomes too, but I feel like he would have more pressure in his face than Tannehill or Derrick Henry. I think unless you know what I'm saying, unless KC with their really 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 low ranked defense, which has been played better in the last couple games of the regular season, they did play better. What do they have that's going to be able to stop this running? I can't do it, man. And then look, you just said it. They went to on they trek to the Super Bowl. They've gone through every hostile environment you can imagine. The worst environments you can imagine.
This is the worst. This is the most. This is going to be the most hostile.
And I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like, that momentum is tough to stop, bro.
Are you telling me you like the Titans out of the AFC?
The Titans, man. It's gonna be good.
So you like Titans, San Francisco right now?
Titans and Niners. That's what it's gonna be.
Titans, Niners, Super Bowl. I'm going to the exact contrary to that.
So you're gonna stick with the traditional Green Bay KC.
I'm going with the 100-year anniversary of the league, of the fraternity.
Like the fans are going to revolt if that happens.
You can't. Right. What can you do?
They're going to revolt. I'm telling you. Glass from Get With It Sports 2 is in the building. I think that's Glass, right? I thought he had changed his name, but that's him. He says Chiefs and Niners in Super Bowl. And what else we got here? He says the 49ers get the win. Chiefs with their 50 burger was sick. Hey, I mean, I know. Look, the Chiefs, they spectacular. He said they might just get with it. What I think too, but I hope not. Hey man, listen, Seymour Carver, Diego, all you guys who's Niner fans, congratulations. I think y'all gonna make that run. But that little bit of Titans fans that are out there, man, look, it's been a long time. What's this been? 13 years? What has it been? When they had that Super Bowl blunder, when was that?
Oh, that was 2000.
Yeah, so
that was 2000.
It's been a while. It's been about 16 or 17 years.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a little while.
They finally get a chance to rectify that, man. But you know what? Me and Clay, we're the only ones in the family whose teams ain't hoisted the shiny. And he might get a chance to do it before me. Anyway, you got anything else you want to add to the show tonight, bro?
No, I just hope that all chapters of the Nana Empire don't feel sad after the way this whole thing go down. It's a design, bro. Hold your head up high, man. All chapters, hold your head up high.
You can't fight the system. That's what you're saying.
That's a fraternity, man.
I feel you, man. But look, they're doing that for their own personal gain and entertainment. Oh, I mean that 100-year anniversary commercial that kicked off last year at the Super Bowl, that thing was dope. But man, please, we got other things to worry about. We thinking about that. Anyway, man, look, we was able to kind of get a show going for y'all tonight, man, and thanks to JB, he wanted to persevere and push it through. I made a
I
mistake.
had to show my face, Q. I couldn't. I'm not one of those guys that duck and hide.
I was worried about you for a minute. I mean, I saw you on Twitter about to lose it there for a minute, but I was like, oh, he reined it back in. He's all right.
Nah, that's all, G.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so JB wanted to make sure we got the show up tonight. We had a little snafu in the beginning. That was my fault. I had too much stuff going on, trying to be fancy. Class, man, I hope you're feeling better, bro. Get with me after the show, man. We need to holler. JB, man, go ahead and put yourself over for everybody, man. We got.
I will do. Glass, miss you, bro. Miss you, bro. Needed you here. Had to have the show, man. It's a bit choppy. We had some tech difficulties, but we made it because I had to be here. I'm not one of those fugazi, fake fair weathers that if I'm good enough to be here when we winning, damn it, I'm gonna show my face and repeat.
Yes.
Anyway, glad we was able to make it happen, Q. Glass, we'll see you next week. You can always catch me here on Wednesdays or on Twitter as Raven Showman.
All right, cool, man. Hey, listen, I'm gonna ask the fans out there what y'all want to do. If y'all want us to come back next week and do the Super Bowl show, or do you want to wait a week and then come back and do the show? And on top of that, if you guys are watching on the Facebook page, I do have a poll up talking about who's gonna win the championship games. There's two of them that you can choose, the AFC and choose the NFC. Also, for everybody else who are not on the Facebook page, I also have the same polls up on Twitter. I'm just interested to see how you guys feel and what teams y'all think are going to make it to the Super Bowl. So go ahead and hit those polls up. And if you already hit them up, thank you so much. We'll talk about it next time we come up with it.
Does McCarver have Twitter? I
don't know if I ever seen him on Twitter. I think he does.
I ain't never seen that one tweet from that guy.
I think he does, though. We have to look him up. We have to find him.
I got to find him.
We got to find him. Yeah, so y'all guys do that for us, man, and let us know if you guys want us to come back next week and do the Super Bowl prediction show, which we won't get to see cashed in until a week later because there's a week off between next week's show and actual Super Bowl. So let us know what y'all want to do. Or JB, you and Glass, if y'all feel like y'all want to just come and talk about news stories, because there'll be a lot of news coming out that week. You know it will. Just y'all let us know. We'll be on Twitter. You can catch me at TeamBoydTV on Twitter, and Glass is going to be there at Sage Sports 1 on Twitter. Let us know how y'all feel. We'll see y'all next week. Everybody who checked us out and came back after the loop-de-loop, definitely appreciate it. Y'all take it easy. We'll see y'all next week, Lord willing. Y'all take it easy. Peace.